We've arrived here at Moon Caye, the site of the red-footed boobies and magnificent frigatebirds. And if you look behind me, above the canopy of these palm trees, you'll see these amazing, magnificent frigatebirds all circling and displaying. Let's go see if we can get a closer look.
The Belize Audubon Society, firstly, is one of the leading non-governmental organizations within Belize. The Belize Audubon Society manages 9 protected areas, and of those 9 protected areas, we have Moon Caye Natural Monument.
This is Moon Caye, and the geographical location of this particular site is of huge significance to nesting frigatebirds and red-footed boobies. And the reason why is that this atoll runs from north to south, and Moon Caye is situated in a sea right over here. This is where all the swell direction and the wind generally comes from, and the frigates and the red-footed boobies nest on the leeward side of the island, sheltered from the wind and all the elements. The windward side of the island is sparse, and as we make our way to the leeward side, the vegetation gets thicker. And what you also notice is that the air becomes thick with the smell of guano. These magnificent frigates and red-footed boobies are close at hand. Welcome to one of the marvels of the avian natural world. This is a breeding colony of red-footed boobies and magnificent frigatebirds. And if you can imagine Manhattan and New York City, this is the avian version. This is a place where space is at an absolute premium, and you've got these dominant birds taking hold of the best nest sites to ensure that they can bring up their young. This is a place where every little treetop is incredibly valuable real estate. All the best nesting sites are chosen by the most dominant and the most fortunate birds. If we look around us here, you'll see these birds jostling for space, biting each other's wings, knocking each other out of the way to protect this incredibly valuable real estate. This is where they will bring up their youngsters, this is where they will lay their eggs, and this is also where they will mate. This is our golden bird for this week, the red-footed booby. A small member of the booby family. In fact, red-footed boobies are the smallest of all the booby species, but incredibly, incredibly beautiful. Red-footed boobies are fairly numerous, but they're very seldom seen away from their nesting sites, like this on Moon Caye in Belize. The colors on the bill of this bird and the blue sear around the eyes, spectacular. I'm getting absolutely great views through these Nikon Edge binoculars. Look at it preening itself. I don't think I've ever seen that color blue. It's an indescribable color of blue. The word booby comes from the Latin word bobo, which means a clown or a dunce. 2 separate interpretations for the bird. Comical, like a clown, because of those bright feet that they'll wave and display in front of each other when breeding, and a dunce, because these birds would often fly right onto ships unknowingly and land pretty close to sailors. In the early days, these sailors would harvest huge numbers of red-footed boobies for that exact reason. Red-footed booby pairs will remain together for several seasons, and it will take them about 44 to 46 days to incubate the single pale blue egg which they lay in their nests. There are 2 color phases of red-footed boobies, a white phase and a brown phase. Here on Moon Caye, the white phase is by far the more numerous, but if you look very carefully amongst these white birds, you will see the odd brown phase bird. Red-footed boobies are perfectly adapted aerial predators. They've got in their face modified air sacs which cushion the blow when they dive like torpedoes from huge heights down into a school of fish beneath the ocean surface. Not only have they got these modified air sacs, but they've also got a serrated sheath which covers the bill, and this acts as a cutting tool, almost like a serrated saw, which enables them to grab onto their slippery prey. Now, speaking of modified air sacs, there is no bird on earth that has a more stupendous modified air sac than the magnificent frigatebird. That giant red balloon structure on the throat is actually caused by a pair of cervical gular air sacs which take up to 20 minutes to inflate. You can listen, the sound is nearly deafening of these frigates displaying. They will rattle their wings and they'll snap their bills, and the bottom of the bill will actually vibrate on the gular air sac, causing a drumming noise which is used to attract females from around. And every time a female flies above them, those males will inflate and puff out that air sac, and they'll drum with the base of their bill on that balloon sac to attract the females. And for all the efforts of the male attracting a female, mating is incredibly brief. These birds are incredible hunters. They will scour the skies trying to get scraps or pirate scraps from other birds, but they'll also pick up scraps of fish and other food on the open ocean. The crazy thing about magnificent frigatebirds is that they will never land on the ocean. And the only bird that flies as much as a magnificent frigatebird is the common swift. These magnificent frigates will fly days and nights without landing on water or touching land. They cannot get their feathers wet, so they can't plunge dive for fish, and they have to follow dolphin, tuna, and sailfish, and pick up the little bits of food which are left behind when those bigger predators are feeding on baitfish. What they'll also do is they'll actually pluck flying fish straight out of the air, trying to escape predators like tuna and dolphin.